container. All right, let's go ahead and add a row inside this container. Of course, you know why we're adding a row. There are two things inside there, stacked left to right. And so here we're going to add a text field. All right, so I'm adding a text field and add a text field there. Now we have this text field, and let me see, let's look at the padding. It's going to be like 43 from the left. All right, so let's change this to like maybe 43. Okay. All right, so then we can go ahead and in that same row. Okay, now we're not actually done with this. Let's remove the input decoration, say none. Okay, and then we can say add comment. So I'm going to copy this that says add comment, go to where we have the label text, and then Control A, Control V to paste it. All right, so now let's go back to the row and click to add an image. The image is 20 by 20. All right, so this is going to be the image for our send. So 20 by 20. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and then just take this off. Click on network and change it to asset, and click on this to upload the image. So now we're going to downloads, and we're changing from this to this. Okay, you can actually get to troubleshoot these the way you can handle it. All right, so I will go ahead and cut this and just put it where I always put it. Okay, so Control V, replace it. This is 712. Yes, right click to export the extract it, and just extract it. All right, so I don't know where it's gonna be inside, but now this is where I might likely have some issues. How simple. I'm looking for an icon. It's not search. The icon is for send. All right, so this is let me come over here. Oh, this is a different thing entirely. Okay, so I'm gonna struggle a bit to find this icon. Okay, this is it. It's inside here, so send. Okay, so there you go. We have the send icon here. So let's try to give it the padding it needs. It needs a padding of 36. All right, so let's give it a padding of 36 on the right. And there you go. And here is more like 12. So let's click on the text field and give it a padding here 12. Okay, perfect. Now don't forget, the way we always do this is click on the container that we added in the stack, and then just use these to say go down. That's we're putting it down on this part. And there's something we can do. And again, we can turn on the box shadow. Okay, we can just turn on the box shadow. So if you see there, it gives it some sort of shadow. Okay, so that's it. We have these concept around here. Later on, we will go ahead and put in the design for the part that has to do with what is it called, that will give us that we'll be using to reply the messages. All right, so we'll just make that one really simple. We'll just copy from here, put it somewhere else in a pop-up. All right, so let's say 12 for this padding, and that's it. So we will come and set a conditional visibility for these list view. So when the user clicks on these, okay, no, this is not course content. This is supposed to be discussion. Okay, let's just copy this. So when the user clicks on discussion, that's here. So he's supposed to have these other contents here. So supposed to have discussion. So when the user clicks here, it will show just the course information. When he clicks on course discussion, it will show the comments and the replies. Okay, so guys, we are done with the UI for the base UI. We will have to do maybe a couple of other UIs in between, but so far we have finished the front end of the major part of this course. So now we're going to go ahead and start back end in the next video. All right, so see you in the next video. Take care. Hello guys, welcome to another part of our course, and in this part we're going to start backend. Yes, it's very exciting, right? I know that feeling. Okay, so we're going to start working on the backend, and of course, where is the best place to start working on backend apart from the sign up page? All right, the sign up and sign in page. Okay, so for us to work on the backend, what we need to do is we need to have our Firebase. Okay, so we will go to Firebase, and then just go to firebase.google.com, and we're going to go ahead and for me, I'm going to have to select the email I want to use. Okay, so I'm just going to use Talcon. No, not Talcon. I'm going to use okay, so I've actually used so many of my emails to create Firebase projects. So yeah, so I'm gonna use Talcon, or sorry, no code first. So this is what you do: firebase.google.com. Then you select your email. It has to be a Gmail. It can work with Yahoo Mail, right? So you have to have a Gmail account. So I'll click on Go to Console, and then here it's gonna show me the different projects that I have in Firebase. So I'm going to go ahead and click here to add a new project. This project is going to be called online learning app. Okay, all right, so Ola. It sounds cool. So it is going to be Ola. Well, that's like an acronym. OLA. Ola. Ah, yes, that sounds Nigerian. I'm from Nigeria. Yes, so let's go ahead and then just click on continue and turn off Google Analytics. We're not going to be using it, all right? So click on create project, and we're going to go ahead and wait for a couple of seconds for it to completely create the project for us in Firebase. And we're going to go ahead and what do we do? What we're going to do is we'll come to Flutter Flow, click on the settings, and go to Firebase. And we need to put something here. What are we putting? We're putting the Firebase project ID. Then we start doing things. Okay, so here, let me close this one, and let me bring this one close here. All right, so I have this. I'll click on this to continue, and now I have my Firebase project for online learning app. I can go ahead and click on the project settings. All right, and then copy this. I'm gonna just copy the whole of this project ID. Okay, great. And also, for me to avoid having errors, in fact, let's have the error first so that you can also see it. So I'll just paste here and click and connect. It will tell me that, oh, Flutter Flow does not have access to this Firebase account. Please add firebase.flutterflow.io as an editor to this project. That's the idea. So what I'm going to do now is I'll come over here to users and permissions, still under settings, and then I'll add another member, and that's going to be Firebase add flutterflow.io. Okay, and then I will click on here and say it's going to be an editor, and done, add member. That's it. So now that I'm done with that, if I come back over here and say connect, I should get a success. Now it's connected. Okay, so now that I have done that, I need to go ahead and click on auto generate config files so that it can generate some small tiny bits of files that is needed to actually run my project successfully. Now that I've finished that, while this is going on, I'm going to go ahead and come to build, click on authentication. All right, so we need to set up our authentication here in Firebase, because Firebase will be handling our authentication. Authentication is users signing in into your application and creating accounts, signing up into your application. I'll click here to say add new provider, and I'll pick email and password, and I'll say enable, and I'll say save. I will also try again, click here and say Google, all right, and enable, and this is public facing name for project. I will just go ahead and change this to online learning app. Okay, and I'll put in bracket Ola. Okay, support email for this. We'll click on this and just choose no code forest. Okay, and then I'll click on save. That's it. So I just did a configuration that will help our users to sign in and sign up using Google. All right, so it says enabling Google sign in for the first time creates new odds 08 OAUTH, that's OAuth clients, which are automatically added to that. Can't enable Google sign-in for some apps. Download and place. Okay, so we leave this. All right, so now we've enabled it, and then we're good. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and come to build, click on Firestore database, and we need to go ahead and start with create database, and we're going to say start in test mode, because basically we're going to be testing it, not like going production full. So we'll say next, then we say enable, okay, and wait for a couple of seconds, and this will be completely done. So it's currently provisioning the cloud Firestore for us, and when it's done, we will see our Firestore database where all the different things that we want to save in our application will be stored in. All right, so now this is it, it's empty. We're going to have to create collection from Flutter Flow. We'll go ahead and click on build and go to storage, and in storage we're going to go ahead and start click on get started and start in test mode, next, and done. Okay, so now we're done with regenerating config files. While we're waiting for all of this to finish working, we need to let's wait for a while until the storage is done. Then we need to deploy the Firebase storage. We need to do other things, of course. Okay, so what we're going to do now is let's go ahead to the widget tree, and we need to go to authentication main. All right, so this is like the page for authentication main. Now this particular page is strictly for signing in, like logging in. So it says a login and sign up. All right, so what we need to do is we're going to go ahead and duplicate this screen and say this is going to now be our, let's just create here and say sign up. All right, sign up. Okay, that's good. So we have this screen is going to be for sign up. Enter your email, enter your password, enter your name or email. Okay, this is going to be enter your email, not name. We want email. Enter your email. Enter your email. Enter your email. Okay. And okay, so another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make these 3 components, right? Yes. Enter your email, and then I'm going to click on this and duplicate it, say Ctrl D. The duplicate, that's 3 now. So this is going to not be password anymore. This is going to be full name. Okay, so I'm changing this to full name, and this one is a password field, so there's something we're going to do to it. Let's rename it first and say password. Okay, and this one is going to be email. I'm renaming the text field, so this is going to be email. Click on here, and this is going to be for full name. Okay, so full name. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and what next do we do? Okay, so let's click on the password now and indicate that this is a password field, because it's important for you to say, oh, this particular text field is a password field. And for it to be a password field, we're going to have an icon there to toggle the passwords. All right, so that's it. So I just put 24 there so it can show. Okay, that's the icon size. And we don't want autofocus. Okay, so we turn it off. And I think that's about it. So the same thing with this, we're going to turn off autofocus. We come here and turn off autofocus. Okay, so then now let's change this particular detail here from login to sign up. So maybe sign up, yes, sign up, and this is gonna be sign up with Google. Okay, and then this one is gonna be sign in. Okay, so all right, so having trouble. Let's just say you have account already. Sign in, something like that. Okay, so that's how it works. So how do we set up our authentication? So we're just gonna go ahead and click on this. Let's go to the main container. All right, yes, this is a main container. We're going to add an action. So that's the way Flutter Flow handles authentication. So we're going to go to add action. after we've selected the container that we want an action to be executed when the user clicks on the button. All right, so I'm going to come over here and say add action, and I'll come to backend and database, and I'll see something called Firestore, and I'll see something called okay, not that. Where is it? Okay, so that's a bit different now. Okay, so I have authentication. Something is wrong somewhere. Okay, something is wrong somewhere. So we don't have authentication because we have not done some basic settings. Yes, we haven't done some basic settings, so we don't have authentication. So let's go ahead and just click delete this action. Yes, and okay, and let's go back to settings. And now that we have done this, good. We need to click on this icon here. Just click on it and say next step. We need to turn on this enable authentication. That's basically what happened. Then we need to turn on this one, and then we can just say start building. Now we will be able to see what we need to see. So it's saying auth page setup needs to be done. So we click on this, the entry page. What do we want the user to see first? We want the user to be able to see the sign up screen. Okay, basically it's always the sign in, right? So let's just say the auth main. We will later on have to change this name from auth main to something else. So let's call this what do we call this? This is going to be when they log in, they're going to their dashboard, right? So that's it. So let's come over here and rename this auth main to sign in. Okay, so I'm just going to click on it and change it to sign in. Okay, all right, so this is it, sign in created. Now the next thing we need to do, we have some things here. We have some warnings, Firestore rules not deployed. We need to deploy it. So we need to come over here so that we don't have any issues. Click on this to deploy the rules, and just deploy the rules. Wait for a couple of seconds and that will be done. Okay, when it's done, it's gonna disappear from here. Display is gonna turn to green. So let's come back here. Okay, now it's done. Let's click on container and go back to adding an action. No, let's start with sign up and click on the button itself, and we're going to the highest hierarchy. That's the container, and then we will go ahead and add an action. The action is going to be backend, and then we see here Firebase authentication. Yeah, I was looking for that. So we want it to create an account. The authentication provider is going to be email in this case, and then the email field is email, and the password field is password. All right, so if at all we did not indicate what field is password field, this wouldn't have allowed us to put it here. Okay, very important. Now we need to add an extra field, which is going to be for full name. So there is a field already created for us by default when we turned on authentication and set create collection. So this is a default collection called users, and it already has a field here called display name. Otherwise we would have had to create it automatically by ourselves, which we will create other collections and create this schema by ourselves. But here there's a field called display name, and that's what we're going to use. So we're going to come over here to add extra fields to the result of this sign up, and then the field here, I just click on this, is going to be display name. And we don't want a specific value, we want it to come from variable, so we'll click to change it from variable. We go to widget state and say pick the value from full name widget. All right, the widget that we called full name. That's it. You see why it was very important for us to rename it? Good. Now that's all we need to do. When the user clicks on create an account, like sign up, that's it. It signs the user in and they have access to the application. Now let's go ahead to this one. This one is going to be easy peasy, yeah? So here we just need to go ahead and click on add an action, and we will be saying backend and database will say Firebase authentication. Then scroll down, we will say where is it? We will say create an account, and the create an account is going to be Google. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so that means the user's account will be created completely by Google. Google is handling all of that account creation. All right, then for this one we need to add an action for navigating the user to the screen that they can now use in signing in, if at all they already have an account. So we'll click here to add an action. That action is going to be navigate to, yes, you guessed it right, and we will now say sign in. There's a screen that says sign in. Let's change the navigation transition type to fade, and then let's make this 500 milliseconds. I like to use that. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is go to sign in, which is the very first screen the user sees, and we need to set up the same thing. So click here to rename this text field and say this is going to be email. All right, it says enter name or email. We need to just rename that and say enter your email. Enter your email. Enter your email. And then let's click on the password field, and you know what to do with the password field. We have to go ahead and say turn off the autofocus and turn on the fact that it's a password field, and give here 24 just so that we can see the toggle password icon. Perfect. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and do the same thing with these. Turn off the autofocus, click on the button here. Specifically, we're going to the container, and then we're going to add an action. Action is going to be very simple. We're going to go to backend and database. We will say Firestore. No, we're saying Firebase authentication, log in. And then here we will say it's email we're logging in with, and the email field is email. The password field is password field 1, this one. Okay, so I think we didn't rename this. So we will say password. Okay, yes, we didn't rename it. So let's click on this and see what, yeah, it's showing here password. Beautiful. Now let's do the same thing here. Click on the container and then add an action. All right, and we will say backend database Firebase authentication login, and we will say login with Google, and that's all. Perfect. Now I'm having trouble logging in, sign up. Maybe let's just say don't have an account. Don't have an account, sign up. So let's give a navigation action to the sign up text here. So we click to add an action, navigate to our sign up, and then we make transition type to be fade, and we say 500. There you go. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do quickly is we have set up all of this, and all we just need to do now is go ahead and test our application. So I'm going to just go ahead and run a quick test. I should have done this before because it takes like roughly 2 to 4 minutes. But anyways, we're going to get that done. I will use this same time to just go through what we're going to do next. Let's just wait until this pops up a bit. Then we can just know that, okay, it's loading, and it's going to take like roughly 2 minutes to show us what it has in store for us. So yes, the logo brightens up, meaning it's going to come up. Beautiful. All right, so now this is going to take roughly under 2 minutes. So let's just wait. Let's come back to the Figma design. So the next things that we're going to do, all right, is for us to start working on the dashboard here, right? So we're going to start working on the dashboard. We're going to make it such that the user, when they click on here, they're navigated to here. Like, we'll just set up all of these navigations properly, and then we will create something where we can actually get to upload a picture here, right? So upload a picture here, and well, let's just see how that goes. So I think this icon here is when the user clicks on this, it should allow the user to have access to their system. They upload it, and now we need to go ahead and publish it. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so we can play around with this. All right, so we can play around with this icon. Yes, I think this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to play around with this icon such that this icon will do two things. Yes, that means it will be used in editing, and it also be used in, there's another thing that is going to appear there that's going to be used for pushing, like you update it, like it to say update, like it to have an icon for update, something like that. I think we will just really have like some fun time. So let's see. Our application should be up. It's almost done, so we can just test it and see what happens. Then we'll create an account, and then actually we just need to creating default bucket list. I think this actually worked. It's just that we need to reload it. Yeah, sometimes it has that problem. So yes, it actually worked. Okay, so this is taking longer than normal, but I think it's gonna pop up what it has for us very soon. Okay, so let's just keep our hands, you know, let's cross our fingers. Yes. Okay, so let's see, let's go. All right, so I think this is actually taking longer than normal. Let me try to push it again. Let's just push it again. You can only have one debug session. Exactly. So yes, open session. So this is a session and we already have a debug session, so let's open it. Let's see whether it's going to open it for us. Okay, but actually every single thing that we've done here works actually, but we have to test it. Okay, so let's just be patient. After all, the patient dog eats the fattest bone. Well, I hope it actually does eat the fattest bone. Okay, so it's starting all over again. Well, I think there must have been a problem with this. So even if I reload this, let me try to reload this. Will it be faster than the other one? It ran into an issue and is not just telling us. You see, there is need for communication in life. You know, it is basically struggling. It's trying to do something and it just couldn't do it. Instead of it just saying, "Oh, hello guys, just calm down. I know I'm running late, but just give me a moment and trust me, it's not." Okay, you have to learn how to communicate. I'm not talking with you guys. I'm talking to this simulator. All right. Okay, that was just me being funny. I hope it made you laugh. All right, so this is it. It's working now. So let's try to, preview our application, right? We won't have this problem again because in the next couple of sessions, I will just be running instant reload just to keep pushing from one level to the other like that. Okay, so we have our application. There you go. So it says here login. If we try to log in, it's not gonna log in. So I'm gonna click on here to sign up. That one, we're going to have to fix it. All right, don't worry about that. We'll fix that part. And then let's just say sign up. Okay, so it brings us here, and then I will put my email. Let's say Mr. Okay. All right, and then my name, and then password. Beautiful. Then I can now click on sign up. Okay, so I've clicked on sign up. It brings me here. Guys, we have our application working. All right, so this is it, and we will try to troubleshoot some problems that has to do with the Google sign-in. There'll be a particular part where we are setting up the Google sign-in. I wouldn't like to do that now because it will require us to publish the app to the web first, right? So that we can actually go and debug it. I will show you where to see. I want us to see the error first and how to even see the error and know how to fix it. But that would require me to jump a particular step. I don't want to do that. Okay, so we will continue building our application in the next part of this course. See you soon. Hello guys, welcome to another part of our course, and in this part we are going to push it a little bit up. All right, we're going to be doing a couple of things at once. Now the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to try to we won't handle this yet. Okay, we will begin to work on the courses first, and then we will go ahead and we'll make some things to come dynamically from the database. Okay, and then we will also try to what do I say here, we will try to see how we can even this image, we can actually make it such that it can come from the database. Okay, so we can have like a generic image here, but I think I prefer this coloring. It's just nice. Well, this shows that it's a course, basically for school stuff, right? So I think we can still keep this. It's just that Let me see. Okay, we will try to see how we can maybe store this image as in Flutter Flow directly. Okay, directly in Flutter Flow, then we can now put it somewhere else. All right, I will show you all of that. Now let's go ahead and do something really nice. What we need to do is, first of all, we're going to go ahead and create a collection called courses, all right, in Flutter Flow. And then let's do it right now instead of just talking about it. So we will come here to collection and we'll click here to add a collection. And the collection is like more like a library where you put in, not like a library, it's like a bookshelf in a library where you stack in some books. Okay, so we will say courses. All right, so this is courses. And this courses is going to have like different, like let's say each of the books that is supposed to be on this shelf, right, they're supposed to have some sort of labeling, like different characters, the size, the volume, the name on the book. Exactly. So now we want to now put each of these, like, so now we want to create the labeling for each of the books that will be found inside this shelf. Okay, so like this, now we're going to have one of the labeling is going to be like the title of the course, so course title, course description, course price, and let's say course rating. Okay, so let's just do it like that one by one. So let's say course title. Okay, course title. I like to use small letters. Course title. I will say course description. I will try to type it in full. Course description. Okay, so we have this now. Then we now have we're gonna have course image. Okay, so let's say this is gonna be image path. Yes, and then we say check. Then we're going to have course price. Okay, this is going to be a double because it can be $49.99. All right, so we can have a course rating. Let's go ahead and say this is going to be a double, right? You can have a point too. Then we will have let's see, we have the instructor, right? So course teacher, and then level. Okay, so we can say course teacher. All right, so course teacher, this is going to be a string, just name and characters. Course level. All right, so there you go, we have all of this. This course level is going to be a string as well. Okay, so now we have this. What we need to do quickly is we need to go ahead and then begin using it in our application. All right, so let's set things into motion. Okay, so for this particular one, let's see, this is it. We had already exported this before, right? And when I exported it, it came as a zip file, I think, right? Let me see. Yeah, it came as a zip file. So let's just download this one. I like it like this. I don't know, I like this coloring or the graphics. It's just cool. So I'll just export this. Okay, and then this one too. Click on it and export it. So we will somehow store it inside Flutter Flow and then save it. Allow. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's come back into Flutter Flow. Let's go to where we have the dashboard, and then now, from what you've seen here so far, let's start with this one now. Let's start with the fact that it says welcome back, this the name of this person. So we need to go ahead and say click on this and say authenticated user, display name. All right, so let's start changing things one by one. So it's going to show the authenticated user's display name here. Now we're supposed to change the image here, so let's go ahead and change the image. But before we do that, let's say placeholder image. Okay, so let's say placeholder image, and let's come here to look for an image we can use for as a placeholder in case there's no image, because in most scenarios there'll be no image. So let's click on this. I think we can use this. So all right, I'm gonna right click in and copy image address. Okay, this is where we're gonna use it. So we click on this and we will go to where we have this, change it from assets back to network. Okay, Well, now we want to get things to enter into our application from database. So then we'll now go ahead and click this, okay, and say authenticated user, photo URL, okay. Now that place is still empty, so let's put a default variable so that we can still see something that shows there even when we have not run it. Now we have that picture, you see, we have that placeholder there. Okay, beautiful. Now the next thing we need to do quickly is welcome back, display name, then the picture of this person. So if the person doesn't set a photo, then this is what it's going to show. And anyways, we don't have a design yet where the user gets to set their portfolio. Okay, we have it. Okay, I just remembered we have it when we are clicking on this. Okay, so before we continue, I'm going to go ahead and then what we did here before was just for us to see the design. So let's go ahead and delete this. Okay, so I'm going to delete that and then select this one. Okay, and then click here to delete it. All right, so just delete it. Okay, now we have that gone. We need to go ahead and then make sure that this is coming from, let me push this up. Okay, so there's a small challenge there. Let's click this and then I'm going to look for the container. This is a container. I'll try to scroll up a bit. And now good. We have this now, and in fact, as a matter of fact, we need to remove this. Say control. Okay, let's leave it there. Actually, I think it's fine. We can leave it there. Let's wrap this container with a widget called list view. List view is a widget that will allow us to be able to generate, let's say, a list from the database directly. That's how it's done. So now that we have wrapped it there, we can now come to backend query, all right, here. And we click to add a backend query. We click on query type, say query collection. We now want to query the collection and say, show us every single thing that is inside the collection called courses. Now it's asking us, what collection are you talking about? It's going to be courses. And we want to see all the list of documents. In some scenarios, you might just say you want to see only one single document. Okay. Then we don't want to filter by anything because all the courses that is available. Okay, recommended. All right, so now we're going to do something. Let's go ahead and filter it. Let's just go ahead and confirm first and say confirm. Now we're going to see like this kind of display now, right? Very beautiful. But there's something I want us to do. Let's go back to our collection and say status. Let's say type. Okay, let's say course type. Okay, so course type. So this is where we will put it, whether it is a recommended. Okay, no, let's call it recommended. Let's make it Boolean, right? So recommended, okay, recommended, and we say Boolean. Boolean is either true or false. So in the database, we might, for each of the document that we're going to add here, we might have to turn on, make some courses recommended by turning it as true, and some not recommended by making it false. Okay, so what we have here, it's supposed to be filtered by that particular field in our course collection. So let's click here to edit it, and it will now say filter it. All right, we're filtering by the recommended, because this place means it's saying recommendation, right? Recommended is what is equal to true. Okay, that's it. So that's it. That means everything, is not all the courses that is going to show here, only courses that are recommended, okay, that have the status true for recommendation. Okay, so we'll click on confirm, and there you go. Now at this point, now the next thing we need to quickly do is let's start getting this thing from the database like this. Let's click this and say let me go ahead and change this from asset back to network. Okay, and then I will click on here and say courses document. Because we have queried this list view, we can now access the courses document. So we'll click on it and say course image. Okay, now we're supposed to see something here, but instead of using a placeholder image, what I want us to do instead is let's go ahead and come to the where is it we have here, it's called asset. So we can go ahead and come here and then look for it. So let's look for an image. Let me see, where do we have it? Where do we have the image? Some things are not showing the way I wanted to show. Oh, okay, am I missing out something? These are all the assets, and there's something I'm supposed to see that I am not seeing, and that is supposed to be these image. It was supposed to be here. Maybe it's this one. Okay, let's go ahead and then just open this. So, it's trying to download. I don't want it to download. I wanted to just like preview it. Okay, so these open asset in new tab to download it. It's saying I should download it. I wanted to just view it. Okay. It doesn't allow me to actually even right click on it. So what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to get the link. It's supposed to open somewhere else, so I can actually have access to the file from here. Okay, so I think we're going to just go a bit different. Let me see, let me think. Let's try this again. Now it opens, but it's now showing me like this: compressed free courses, these online, this. It's not giving me the link. It's supposed to give me a link that shows it, and I copy it. So now it's not doing that. Slightly different. I think this is like a new feature, right? Because I used to be able to get that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and come over here and get a placeholder image for a random image. Okay, so let's we can use this, or maybe this. So let's use this. All right, so let me see if it's gonna get clear. It's not getting clearer than that. So let's just say copy image address, and then we'll come back here, go to our widget tree, and then try to click on this, and for the default variable value, just go ahead and paste what you have here. Okay, and then when you paste this, what you need to now do is, okay, now we have these showing here like this. Okay, better. I think we'll just have to make do with this, and then here this is going to be the course title, so click on that, and then click on this and say course document, course title. Then we will say this one is going to be for the description, so click on it and click on this and say course document, course description. I would like you to go ahead and click on this to say expansion. That means if it's longer than that line, it should fall down, it should spread downwards. Okay, then the price here, what we're going to do for this one is that we're going to make it a combined text. So I click on this and say combined text. I'm going to write the combined text allows you to put in like two different texts. One can come from the database, one can just be written. Okay, so here I will say price, then this, exactly just what we have here, then add another one. Then this time around I'm getting the value from the database. So I'm clicking on this now to go to course document and go to course pricing. I want it to be number format, and I want it to be custom specify format, and I want it to be currency. Okay, so I click on currency and say confirm. That's it. Then I can click on confirm here. So it now shows you a price and one. Perfect. Now this is going to be my course rating. So I'll click on here, click on here, click on here, and say course rating. Okay, it's basically a number format. Then we can say like that. Okay, let's see, let me click on here and see no further changes. Will it change anything? No, it's still, I didn't want it to overflow like that, so let's just say number format, no formatting, custom specify format. Okay, let's see. Yes, now I prefer this one now because it's not taking all the spaces. All right, so here I'll click on this, and I'll click on this and say course document, and I'll now say course teacher, and that's it. Then for this one is gonna be level, so I'll click on this and say course document, course level. There you go. Okay, so now with these I have defined all of these things for myself, and all of this will now come from database. Now we are not done with that. I would have loved us to like check it out now, but let me just end this session for this run, the debug session, and then start a new session, so that while we are still working on it, while we are still working on our application, let me turn this off, we can later on come back and look at this. Okay, so because I want us to do a couple of things from backend with this particular tutorial. Okay, So let's just wait until this loads so that I can just be sure that when we want to test it, it can come alive. All right. So I think, okay, this is gonna work. It's coming alive. It's coming alive. Perfect. Okay, so it's building up. Now we have this. The next thing that we need to consider doing is we need to go ahead and then do something incredible, right? Well, all the things that we've been doing, guys, is incredible. Yes, it's been incredible. So we will go ahead and then, okay, I think we should not make it too long, right? So yeah, this is dashboard. So we can say dashboard part 1. Okay, yes, dashboard part 1. So let's leave it like this. Let's just watch what we have here. Before we continue, let's test it. Let's create a document. So this is it. We can go to collection, and then here in manage content, we can use this as our admin panel. For this our application, we can use this to add the courses and a lot of things. Okay, so let's do just that. So I'm gonna wait for the manage content. That's a CMS for Flutter Flow. If you can see here, it says CMS, Content Management System. For this particular application, actually, right, it's going to allow us to be able to add different things to the application. Then from there, we can now test it for real. So let me go and get what do I want to put here? Let's say it's let's call it integral calculus. Integral calculus course. All right, something like this. I'm looking for a picture that can depict that. I think I like this one, but I needed something that has like a dark background. Okay, I've not found something really nice yet. Have you seen something nice? I haven't seen something really nice, something that can work, right? Okay, I think this works for me. Yes, this works. So I'm going to copy this, copy the image address. All right, I'm just copying that, and then we have this is our CMS now. It's loading up. I think it should be showing us the application now. Let's see. This one is up. It's going to load up very soon. So this is our CMS. It allows us to see all the users that have created an account on our platform. In a couple of seconds, you see the user. This user created an account. So we can actually get to see the content in our Firebase in Flutter Flow without going to Firebase. So we can click here for courses. There's no content for courses. So if you observe here in the application itself, let's just look at it. It's going to be blank. In fact, we can start filling first. Let's click here to add a document as a course. So course title, let's call it integral calculus. Integral calculus. I used to love mathematics back then in my bachelor program. So differentiation and integration makes the world better. Well, because why not? Because why not? That's the description for the course. Then we can click here and upload the URL. Okay, the course price is $455 and course rating is 4.0. Course teacher is, of course, who else than Professor David. So David, I think I can even give myself some really nice position there. Dr. David, sounds cool, you know. Okay, course level, let's say beginner. Okay, and then recommended, of course. We can now go ahead. First of all, before I click on that, let's look at how it looks like first. So you see here, it says, welcome back, David the Rock. It doesn't show anything because there are no courses. So, but now, if I go ahead and say, let's go. Now we're going to see a course. Okay, so we have a little problem. There's an overflow here. Right overflows by so pixel. This text here is way too much. I actually did imagine that was gonna happen, and I did something to fix it, but it seems it didn't work. But let's see, which one is that? Is the title? Okay, is it just the title? Yes, it's just the title. So let's see, the title here is expanded. Okay, so what is happening? It's supposed to, go down. Do we have another text? This is title. Title is short. Now I don't know what happened there, because it's supposed to, I think it didn't load properly. It didn't load everything. So let's just, because now it's supposed to be fixed actually. We say expanded, right? It should go down, right? If at all it's longer than that space. And this is a column. Okay. And I think we should actually give it some padding here and say 14. Okay, so 14. All right, so let's just keep that like that, 14. If that's the case, we might need to just see the same thing. Let's do an instant reload again. Okay, just trying to be sure. This is it. It's not in a row. It's not in a row, so we shouldn't be happy. Let's see, let me just wrap it in a row. Okay, and then the row is also flexible, right? Great. So the row is flexible, the text is flexible, the text is flexible. Okay, so let's see what it shows here. If it doesn't, we just reload it one more time just to be sure. Okay, so the thing about development is that you will always run into bugs that you were even trying to avoid. So you just need to, okay, so it's still there. Let's just do one more last instant reload. And if it's still there, then we will just know that, okay, there is some problem somewhere. Okay, so let's see what we are going to get this time around. So now this is us, trying to do debugging. It's still the same thing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now as a temporary fix, we're going to try to fix that eventually, right? So let's have a temporary fix. I'm gonna click to edit the length of this course, like the course description. So I'll just say differentiation is great, and then I'll just update it. All right, and now it is corrected. There's no error. That means the error came from this text being too long and spreading out. I will try to address that in the subsequent part of the course. Okay, let me see something here. This had some border radius of 15, so let's give this image a border radius of 15, just so we can always have something smooth there. Okay, so this is our application, and now this is going to be smooth a bit, and this is all coming from the database, and this is fine. Okay, so for this part now we will just have to stop at this particular point. The next part of our course will continue in making sure that when the user clicks on this recommended course, it can take the user to what? Take the user to course details. Okay, and then they can actually go to click on auto profile or add to cart. Let's go. We'll see you in the next part of this course. See you soon. All right, hello guys, welcome to another part of our course, and in this part we are going to build the what is it called, the course details page. We're going to make it such that when users click on this card here, they will be redirected to the course details page, where they can now go ahead and see the details of the author of the course, and then see a button to click to check the author's profile, or even add the course to a cart. Okay, so let's jump right into it. It's going to be a bit hard, but we're going to get it right. So first of all, let's do something around it. Okay, all right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and let me see. Okay, let's start with the fact that this particular part, I believe this is like the course title, but now we have this front-end development. We now have these different categories. I think this is like front-end development, This is more like the different programming languages or maybe different part. I don't know how to put it per se, but let's see how we can rearrange this. We don't have that detail here in this place. So when I was creating the course collection, I didn't pay attention to this. So let's say this is the title. This is the maybe focus, yeah. And then we can say this is like we can call this course elements. So element 1, element 2. Okay, so let's do it like that. So let's come back to the collection here in Flutter Flow. Click on the courses, and then we're going to add this is going to be focus. Let's call it focus. So we're going to have something called focus. So there's focus is going to be a string, and then we will check. Then we're going to have, let's call it element for lack of a better word, element 1. So element 1 is going to be a string. We can just call it element 2. All right, and we can just leave it like that, string as well. Okay, so what else do we need? We need I think we're good like that. Let's come back here and see what we have. So we have these title, the focus, the elements, element 1, element 2, description, and the author's detail. Okay, so now let's see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and add something to what do we do here? This is supposed to just be the okay. All right, I'm trying to figure out what we can do here. We're going to query a user. I'm looking at the backend. For us to have what we have here, we're going to query the user collection, and we're going to filter it by the email of the course creator, so that we can have these exact details coming out from here. So we have name already in the user collection, display name, 50 plus courses. So let's say number of courses. All right, then we can say number of students, and then we can say reviews. Now this is how we're going to do it. Let's come to collection, and then in users we can now say number of courses. Let's say number of courses, something like this. Number of courses, it should be an integer, so we keep it like this. And then we have what else do we have there? We have course reviews, and then we have number of students. So let's put number of students first. Num of students, and this is going to be integer as well. And we're going to have course rating. Yeah, course rating. Okay, so course rating or rating. Well, we can, let's just say rating, right? So this particular place is for the person's rating. So this is going to be a double, right? Ratings always have like a decimal point, so it's a double, and there you go. Okay, so now how do we use this? So first of all, I would like us to do something really quick. Okay, no, let's not work on that part yet. Let's see what we can do here. So here, right, what we're going to do is we're going to go to, hold on. Now let's start the whole processing, right? Okay, good. Now this is the card. This is the card that shows a particular result from our backend query. Yeah, so this is the card that shows one of the many results, right? And then when the user sees it, I don't know, I think our test mode had already died. Okay, this is it. So this is what the user sees, right? When the user sees this, you can click on it, all right? And it's take the user to the course description. Let me run a new session for this debug mode. I think it's gonna give me a new session soon. Okay, so I can turn this off while waiting for this to load. Okay, so what I'm saying is, let's come back here. When the user clicks on this particular card here, it's going to take the user straight to this place. All right, yeah, it's going to take the user straight to this place. Okay, so how do we go about doing that? There is something here. It's an action. Of course, we have already done that before. So I've selected the entire container. You have to take note of that. When you click on add an action, The next thing you need to do quickly is you're going to have to add, what is it called? You're going to add an navigation, and then you will now say you're navigating to the course details. So let's look for course detail. This course details, I'll add the transition type as fade, and then the duration is going to be 500 milliseconds. And then now it doesn't finish there. Now the whole idea about what I'm doing now is I want to pass all the information that is found in this document that has been queried from the courses collection. I want to pass it straight to the course details page. And for me to do that, I have to connect a pipe. Like, just imagine that I'm connecting a pipe from here to the other side. And so by connecting that is more like me clicking on define. All right. So it brings me to where the user will be directed to when they click on that card. So pay attention. And now for us to define what kind of pipe are we passing across. So we can now click here to add a parameter. And then we will say, let's call it course. I like to call it courses ref. Okay, courses ref. So we are referencing a particular document from the course collection. So we'll click on here and say document reference. Okay. We can actually use either a document or a document reference, but I usually prefer to use a document reference. And what collection are we looking at? Courses collection, and we are now going to confirm it. It's going to bring us back to where we were before and tells us, okay, you've connected the pipe, and then what next? Of course, when you're connecting a pipe from one place to the other, the idea is you want to pass in some sort of water, some sort of fluid. You want to pass a material. In this case, we have to define what we want to pass. So we click on this, pass. Okay, and then it's now going to ask us to define what we are passing. So we're going to click this on set, go to courses document, and tell it that we are passing the document reference, the reference from the result of the query. So we click on confirm, and there you go. Now we have connected the pipe, and when the user clicks on this, the user will be taken to the data screen. Now it doesn't finish there. We have to go ahead and go back to the course details screen. Where is it? Course details. Okay, yeah, this is it. So this is course details, and so now we've passed something here. It even shows here that there's a parameter here on this screen. This is called a page parameter. So we have it here, and what we need to now do is make use of this thing that we have passed. How do we make use of it? Every single thing that is going to be on this screen is going to make use of what we have passed from the other screen. So we come to the scaffold, all right, the very first thing on the screen, which is the scaffold. And we are going to query the scaffold. So I click on the query, add backend query. Now we're going to be doing something called document from reference. That's the query type we're using. And then we will say the collection is courses, and we will click here and pick the parameter that we have brought into the screen. So I click on here and click on confirm, and that's done. Now we have successfully, really connected the two screens. Now we need to now go ahead and then use it for real. How do we use it? So first of all, we will click here, okay, and then click on this place, and now we will see the courses document because we have queried the screen. So we can now say, okay, this is going to be the course title. Beautiful. And one of the things I would like us to do, or it doesn't allow us to do, let's click on the row and see if we can, that is not working either. I think we can do that to the column. Okay, so let's click on the column first. Make the column expandable. All right, so I click on this. The reason is because I want to make these text expandable so that when the width of the text is longer than the space that it has, it can drop down. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and then still give some sort of padding on the left. So I can say here maybe 16. So that if it is so long like that, it doesn't have to touch the edge of the screen first before it goes down. Then here for this one, this is what we decided to call focus, right? So we'll turn this to say courses document, scroll down, and we look for something called focus. So perfect. The same thing that we did in the other one is the same thing we should do here. So I'll click on this and then give it some padding on the left and say 16. Perfect. And then for this one, okay, so let's call this this is going to be our element 1. So I'll click on courses document, scroll down, look for element 1. All right, and then I will go ahead and click on this one, and let's say click on this, go to courses document, and scroll down, go to element 2. But now the thing is this, right? When we put something inside this container, it might be bigger than this allowed width of the container. So what I would like us to do, which is the most interesting thing we need to do. We need to go ahead and give it expandable. Now it says it can work. It says invalid action. So what we will need to do is click on the container, make it expandable first, okay? And then we can now go ahead and say infinite width. Now it's going to expand, right? Beautiful. Now we've done this to this one. We have to do it to this one as well, so that we can have the same effect. So we click on this, and then we will say, let's touch this first to make it expandable. And then we can now say infinite width. And then we can now give it a padding on the right. So let's say 16. Of course, that's what we've been giving for padding there. So beautiful. Now it can somehow, expand to fit what is inside it. That's like the idea. So we have the course title, the focus. Now this one here, this is an icon. Let's click to add an action to the icon to take the user back to where the user came from. So this is it. It says navigate back. Beautiful. Okay, so now we have that, and this is one is going to take us to the cart. So let's click this, add an action here, and say navigate to cart. Okay, so we can say click here. The transition type is fade, and then here is 500 milliseconds. Beautiful. Okay, so for this one, right, I know you already know what it's going to be. It's going to be description. So I click on here, go to course document, and say course description. Perfect. And then we will work on this later. Okay, so let's just leave this one here. Now, one of the most interesting thing is going to be this circle image. All right. What we're going to do first, before we continue this, we're going to do something. Let's go back to courses image. In fact, before we do that, let me show you something. Let's click on the container that has all of these things inside it. Okay, so let's see, is it the container or the stack? Okay, I think it's the stack. So the stack is the parent of this entire space. So what we need to do is we're going to query the user collection, because this is the details of a user. All right, so we're going to query a user collection, query collection, and we're querying the users collection. It's not going to be a list of documents, but a single document, and we will confirm. Now, every single thing that is going to be found in this screen is going to be for a single document, but there's a problem. If we do not specify that the author that shows here should be the author of this course, then we'll be having a random details of users appearing here every single time. Like Firebase will just be shuffling it and all of that. So we will need to filter it. And for us to filter it, we need to be able to come here to the query and say maybe filter, and then add and say, okay, different things. Now let me show you what we're going to do to fix that. So we'll come here to Firestore, and we'll go to courses, and we'll add another field. We will call it author's email. Okay, author's email. Yes, I think so. So author's email, and this is going to be a string, and I'm checking it. Okay, so now what are we going to do here, and how are we going to use it? Now, this particular document that has led us to this particular place, I mean the courses document, will now have the detail of the author. All right. So now that we have queried the users collection, we can now say filter this result. Whatever should show here, we'll now say, what are we using? We'll now say email of the result that should appear here must be equal to what? We click on onset and go to courses document and say it must be equal to what the author's email. That's how it's done. So now the only person that will appear here will be the exact author that created this course. Okay, so we can now go ahead and click on this circle image, change it from asset to network, and then we will need to actually go back to our placeholder image. So let's come back here and search for what we searched for before, placeholder image, and let's get a placeholder image. I think we saw some very nice placeholder image before. Let's see, where did it go to? I think this was the one. Yes, this is it. So I'm going to just go ahead and copy the image address, and I will come over here, and now I'm saying network, right? So I'm going to click here and say I want to go to the users document and say photo URL. Fine. Now I'm clicking this back again to paste the default variable value as the placeholder image. I just pasted that there. Now this shows here, just like we did it the other time. Okay. So now we can now come here and click on this, click on this to get it from the database. Users document, display name, perfect. Then this one says 500 plus courses. Okay, so now how are we going to do this? We're going to use a combined text feature. So we'll click here. We'll now say, first of all, we'll click here and say we want to go to courses document. No, not courses document, users document. And the users document is going to be number of courses. Okay, and let's number of courses. Let's say number of format. Was that what we did before? We can now say okay, no, let's say no further changes. Okay, number format, no further changes. Then we can just add plus here, so that's gonna make it plus. We'll click on add text, then we can now say we'll give a space, then say courses. Okay, so we can now confirm. Let's see what this shows us. All right, so it says 1 then plus courses. That's fine. Then here, this is plus courses. We have this is supposed to 5,000 students. Okay, so let's come here and say the same combined text that we used. We'll come here and click on it and say we'll come over here, users document, number of students, confirm, and then we can add the plus. Okay, and then add text again and say space, then students. Okay, and then we can now confirm. Beautiful. Then we can now click on the courses review, click on here and say users document and say rating. Okay, rating that way. It says invalid format. Okay, so we need to say number format, confirm. Yes, so it's a number, so we have to just not use any regular stuff. So now we have this. So I think this is about it. We can go ahead and then just test what we have done. All right, yes, we can just test what we have done. Now let's see. Okay, what we're gonna do now is let's go ahead and I think we're already having this running for us. Okay, it had not finished running. I didn't. Okay, it had finished. It expires in 16 minutes. So let's just wait. I'm actually going to wait for it to finish. Then I'll do an instant reload. Then it can show us the most latest update for this debug session. Okay. So let's wait. Let's wait for a second. Another second. Another one. We're going to check it out soon. Now it's up. Okay, so now we have this. Well, it's not really, there's no hand that is supposed to tell us, okay, this place is clickable. That means it has not taken our most recent update. So I'm going to click to run an instant reload. It's not totally instant. Okay, it's instant, it's fast. Okay, so it's going to give us like the latest session. All right, let's see. I actually saw some sort of warning here. We will need to address this warning. Firestore rules not deployed. We will have to address that rule very soon just to avoid issues. Okay, but I don't think it's going to affect us from seeing a reasonable result for what we've done so far. So let's see what we have here. After this, we will just work on the cart and then we're good. Okay, so now, okay, great. I can now see the hand. It's telling me I can click. So I can now go ahead and click this. When I click on it, it brings me here. You see, it has the integral calculus. It doesn't have element 1 and element 2. It has a description here. It has profile buttons here. So now let's go ahead and then we can even go back. You see, we can go back. We can click here to go back there. We can even click here to see our cart. All right. We have some overflow here. We will work on all of this. Okay, so we haven't really taken all of this up yet. Okay, so what we need to do now is let's go to this content management, and then we're going to edit the content that we have here. So now it says we have okay, it has not been updated. So let's reload it. I'm reloading the content management system so we can put the focus and put the element 1 and element 2. Okay, so and then also we can upgrade, we can, you know, manually put a number of courses and number of students. Okay, no, we won't even put it, we'll just put it as 0. Yes, yeah, we'll put it as 0. So hold on, we're going to just look at it briefly, because like this now we don't have anybody showing here. You see, the reason is because our document does not have a value for the person who signed up, so nothing is showing here. It's 0. Okay, so we need to go ahead and set that up immediately so that we can have it showing. So first of all, I think we can start with this by putting number of courses 1, number of students 0, rating 5. Okay, 5.0. So update the document and we're good. So now don't worry, we're gonna get there. Let's go to courses and we can now go ahead and edit this. Now if we scroll down, we can now see focus. So what were we teaching here? Integral calculus. So we can say what was the title? The title was integral calculus. So maybe here the focus could just be for this particular one, differentiation. Okay, element 1 could just be let's just say Leibniz. I don't know, I'm not sure I'm spelling the name of this great mathematician correctly, but let's say Newton. All right, so element 1 Leibniz, because they were the two people that discovered integral calculus. Then I'm going to put the author's email. Don't worry, we will be doing this. We will at some point create a scenario whereby we can like create maybe a section where the course creator can actually upload the courses without using maybe the CMS here. So let's put the email. This was the email I use in, you know, creating an account. So I'll just put it here, and if I put it correctly and update the document, which I have, if I come here now, I will see this. Okay, it appears 1 plus courses, 0 plus students, and 5.0. It's supposed to show 5.0, but it's showing only 5. So now we have Leibniz and Newton. Everything is working very fine. So guys, we've been able to create something really remarkable here, and we will continue in the next part of our course. The next one, we will just go ahead and see how we can push this thing to the, like when the user clicks on auto profile, the user will be taken to what is it called? Will be taken to the author's profile. So let's just go ahead and end the class at this point and see you in the next one. Bye for now.